Ladies, um, I'm sorry for the delay. I just wanted to first apologize. I know that your time is valuable. So I promise you that tomorrow's test, I will not, it will be fairly not, I guess, easy. You will have to think a little bit about the information, but I'm not going to make it too terribly hard on you because I know with the circumstances and everything going on, it's a little different teaching yourself versus hearing me go over it with you. I promise you that I will be doing more interaction videos with you. I've been kind of playing around to see which videos I'm comfortable with, or technique, I should say, not which videos. Um, I am not computer savvy, so it is a little bit of a challenge for me. So I know that it is for you as well, or some of you being able to work the computer system. So if you have any ideas or of any ways that may help, please feel free to let me know. I am all ears. I know some of us instructors are doing things a little different, so if you have any ideas, feel free to share them. Okay, I love you guys. So our test tomorrow is going to be on chapter 10. And chapter 10 is office equipment, supplies, and office facilities. So when you think of office facilities, you automatically think about the front desk, right? Well, this could be a number of different things. This can be a doctor's office, a clinical area. So what is the difference between a clinical area and a clerical area? I know I've asked some of you before, which area do you want to work in once you're finished with your medical assisting class? So the difference is clinical is in the back, you're with the doctor or with the patient. Clerical is everything that's going on at the front desk, or even an office managing type position. Okay, so that is the difference between the words clinical and the word clerical. So for this chapter, I do need you to be familiar with your terms of chapter 11. Those are going to, I'm sorry, not chapter 11, chapter 10, okay? Page 223 of your textbook. So make sure that you are aware or understand the terms of your chapter for your test. So let's go over a few things like I would in lecture, okay? If you have any questions, please stop or send me a message. You can even post your question under this video, okay? And I will get back with you. So let's talk about the medical office layout. How is your office set up? When you visualize going into your doctor's office, what's the first thing that you see? You typically see chairs, right? You typically see a waiting area or a reception area, as we learned in this last chapter. Then you see the front desk, right? So you have your waiting area for your patient, and then you're going to have the front desk, the reception area. It is usually separated either by glass. Sometimes it's a window. Sometimes it is there's nothing there. It's just the counter. So sometimes they have barriers there, and sometimes they do not. So, but there will be a privacy counter, at least if they don't have the window or the pull down shades, okay? And that is for patient privacy. For those checking in, if they have patient phone calls, you're not able to hear the reception's conversation with that patient that's calling in, as well as checkout. So that is the reason that they have those into place. So I had you guys do this as an assignment. Who is the ADA? What do they do? How do they help your medical facilities? Okay. So just be familiar with who they are and how they provide services. How should your office be decorated? Should it have just bright colors? Um, should it have just, think about this, the setting. You want your setting to be inviting, right? What about the blackout noise or a TV or sometimes they have a radio playing that's like we do on our test days. Some clinics have coffee pots for their patients. So how do you want all of that to be presented? You want it to be presentable. You want it to be clean. You want it to be able to run effectively. So if your patients are coming in and your reception area is messy, there's magazines all over the place, there is tissues on the floor, you want to make sure that you are observing those areas for your patients, okay? So just keep that in mind. Sometimes some clinics have fish tanks. I know a lot of kids like to play in those fish tanks. So if you have those, you're going to have to make sure that whatever's in your policy as far as being able to clean those things out with. You also want to keep in mind reception area safety. So keep your patient safety in mind. Whatever decor that you're using for your reception areas, make sure that nothing's going to be able to fall off the walls. If you have plants in there that, or even if you have a TV, that it is secure, that it's not able to fall over. If you have any broken chairs or broken tables, you definitely want to make sure that those are removed from the patient reception area to prevent any type of injury or harm to your patient. What about your filing area? Is it out in the open or is it private? I know that we are getting away from paper charting a lot of clinics, but some of your clinics still do have paper charting files. So how are those kept in your clinic? Are there filing cabinets? Are there patient charts? If there are, you definitely want to make sure that your patient's privacy information is kept where other people cannot see them, whether it be a drug rep, whether it be a vendor coming in to service your coffee, your soda machines, whatever type of other personnel other than the staff that is working that clinic cannot see or have the accessibility to view patients' information. I cannot stress that enough. Patient privacy is very, very big, and you don't want to break that patient privacy. What happens in the event of emergency? Do you need to just, do you up and leave the building? Whose safety are you going to be concerned with? Are you going to be concerned with your safety or your patient's safety? You're going to be concerned with both, but you really need to be concerned with your patients. What in the event happens, or what do you do in the event of a fire? Do you know how to work a fire extinguisher? Some people don't. So make sure that if you are the person, there will be an assigned person at your clinic that monitors those things. The fire marshal will come in to make sure that the equipment is working properly. And they have, if you notice, when you go into your clinics, there is signs. Looks like an index card, and it will have each month of the year on there. And that fire marshal has to come in and inventory all of the supplies and the equipment, and it will need to be dated and initialed by that fire marshal. Some places, I know Jamie works in a nursing home, especially, they will have fire drills. And you need to be able to respond to whatever, sometimes they have code names like code red, or someone will come over the intercom system and they will give the availability or the location of a supposed fire. and you may have that in your clinic. So just be aware of what to do in the event of an emergency situation like that. Teamwork. Teamwork is very huge in the clinic. And I've also said this to you guys, how important teamwork is. That's one of the reasons why I do the lab assignments with you all, to see, are you able to work as a team? You know, that is very important in the healthcare, anywhere, but especially in healthcare, because you are ultimately taking care of patients, right? You others are depending on you to provide their care and what they need, especially right now during this time. Can you imagine being in an area where you don't like that person and you are having to work relatively close, long hours with this person that you don't like? Suck it up, buttercup, put your big girl panties on and deal with it. Like Miss Eliska said, you fake it till you make it, right? So teamwork is crucial in these areas, and your patients can pick up on that. So if there's animosity in the clinic or if there's tension, your patients are picking up on that. Even something as simple as answering the phone, the tone of your voice, your mannerism of how you say something definitely comes across to your patient as they're being a burden to you, when they're really not. It's just you, and maybe you need to do an attitude check. Okay, so sometimes that's how we come across to our patients, is what may not seem big to us may be seen really big and important to them. So take your patients, let's see, take your patients' complaints with enthusiasm. Take your patients' complaints, be compassionate, okay? So it may not be important to us, or may not sound important to us, or it may be that, oh, they could have waited, or that could wait later. You didn't need to interrupt me from my patient care to tell me that. But to that patient, it's very, very important. And you need to let that patient know that, yes, their problem is important, but right now you are taking care of something that may seem a little more important, like a priority. So, but make sure you let that patient know, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, I know that that is important to you. I am currently with another patient. I will get to you as soon as I can, okay? And if you tell your patient something, you need to make sure that you follow through with it. That is very, very big. And that's how you're going to gain patient trust. And they're going to rely on you to get that information to your physician, okay? Time management, you need to make sure that you are efficient with time management. Set your priorities straight. We kind of went over this a little bit last time with appointment scheduling. Which type of appointment is going to play priority over the other one? So be able to recognize those. Make sure that you are taking into consideration of your reception area. What about your exam rooms? Your exam rooms need to be as inviting as your reception area does. Are your exam rooms clean? Do they have an odor to them? Are they well stocked? Are they well supplied? You want to make sure all of this as you are getting your patients back in the exam rooms, okay? If you have assisted with any type of procedure, maybe from a couple of patients ago, you need to make sure that that area is very clean. Any blood or body products is not in your room. That has happened. So just make sure that you are cleaning in between your patients, that there's nothing. I know this sounds gross, but it does happen. Let's say you're lancing a boil. I've had this happen to me before. And if you lance something that's under pressure, what's going to happen? It's going to go poof. And I've had those remains. It gets on the wall, maybe a privacy curtain, the countertop, the cabinet, the floor, the little table that the doctor comes in to sit on. So just make sure, take that extra time and consideration for all of your patients to make sure that your exam rooms are very clean, that nothing like that happens. And if it does, you just want to make sure that you have taken that extra step to clean it before your next patient, okay? What about your color scheme? How is that important? You want to make sure that all of your areas, your bathroom, your exam rooms, your reception area are well stocked. Don't have an empty box of tissues on your table in the reception area. Make sure that your bathrooms are stocked with plenty of toilet paper, tissue, paper towels, hand soap, sanitizer, and all of those things. If your clinic does urine specimens, make sure that there's plenty of urine cups in the restrooms, those sanitizing wipes that they use whenever you're instructing the patient to do a urine sample. What is administrative capital equipment? So, like I said, the terms of your chapter, you need to be able to identify your terms and what is considered under each thing. What is a warranty? What is considerations to take place as you are purchasing equipment? What are service contracts? What type of content should be listed on equipment records? What is an equipment log? What about maintenance? What do you do maintenance for? Why do you do maintenance? Why is that important? What is biomedical equipment? What are some of the types of biomedical equipment? Again, who is the ADA and what do they do for us, for our clinics? How do they help our patients? What type of lighting and colors do you need in your reception area and or exam rooms? What do you do for reception room safety? Okay. What is some of the equipment typically found in the administrative areas? That's going to be the front area of your office. What factors promote an efficient office flow? I think I had you actually do a homework assignment or lab assignment this week of the importance of office flow. Office flow is going to be from the time the patient checks in to the time that they're triaged, they're called back into the room, the doctor sees them, and then the time they leave. So how does your office flow efficiently? What factors need to be taking place for your office to have an efficient run facility, okay? What is electronic postage? We know what a stamp is. We know how to mail, but did you know that there is a machine that actually, that the clinics, medical facilities, even the school has one, Unitech at the front. If you don't know what one looks like, I will be more than happy to show you once we get back to school. I will actually take you to the front reception area, point out the different machines, different equipment, and go over what each item is for you, okay? So a postage machine is a machine, and all you do is you weigh your item. It tells you how much the postage is going to be, and you punch in the number, and you simply feed your envelope or whatever it is that you're wanting to mail through the scanner, and it labels your envelope for you with the correct postage. Some of the machines have labels where you peel them off once you have fed it through the machine. You can peel it off and then stick it to your envelope. So there's two different kinds, and they're not hard to use at all. What are the factors that affect the selection of vendors? What is a vendor? What type of people are considered to be a vendor, okay? What are the considerations for supply inventory control? You did do a very good job of sending me an inventory list. I'm very proud of you. So I think, I know Cindy did. So when I asked you to do this, did you close your eyes and visualize our lab? I know Miss Emily hadn't had a chance to go into our lab, and I can't wait to get there and show you everything that's in our lab and how it works properly, how it works, and what you're going to be expected to do once we get back there. So, and that's what I did. I kind of visualized, I closed my eyes. When we open the door, what do we see? We see all of our working stations. We see the desk at the front. We see the area that we have designated for a check-in area if it were a medical office type clinic. So what else? You see the tables. We have our injection area. We have our centrifuge area at the back for the lab. We have our supply closets. So, but what's on the supply shelves? What other type? We have all of our PPE. There's multiple things in our lab. So some of you wasn't as elaborate. So just ask yourself, what other supplies am I going to need to be able to efficiently run a clinic? Okay. What about your ordering system? What do you need to be able to do ordering of supplies? How does that take a play in an office clinic? Drug samples. This is very big, and some of your clinics are actually getting away from keeping drug samples at their clinics because of the liability. Because, like I said before, I had told you ladies that there has to be a log of all of your medications, whether it be over the counter, whether it be drug samples. There is a particular way that it has to be logged. It has to be documented in your patient's chart. You have to put the lot number, the expiration number, all of that, the manufacturing company. In the event that your patient has had an adverse reaction to that medication, it needs to be charted in the patient's chart. That way they can notify that pharmaceutical company, because if you have more than one patient that's had a adverse reaction, not an allergic reaction, but an adverse reaction to that medication, well, it may be a certain lot number, a certain batch, if you will. And so what they'll do is they'll call these companies that has inventory that certain lot number, and they'll have them pull them from the shelves. You've heard of the lawsuit with the Zantac, or last year it was the valsartan and losartan blood pressure medicine that was recalled, and it was certain batches. And that's how they identify those batches, is by the lot number and by the expiration date in the manufacturing company. So those are key points to remember, okay? Again, who is the ADA? What do they do? Safety issues in your clinic. Office flow. What is capital equipment? What is a postage meter? And what is it used for? What is examples of expendable supplies? How do you keep drug samples in your clinic? What is a warranty? Everybody knows what a warranty is. A warranty, let's say if you buy a car, you will have an extended warranty. That's going to be the time frame that if something happens to that car, that the warranty is going to pay for any maintenance or work that needs to be done during that time. So sometimes some equipment, machines, cars offer that extended warranty. So, and it is a little pricey sometimes, but sometimes it's worth it. Depending on what you are getting the extended warranty on, ask yourself, is it beneficial to have that extended warranty, or is it going to be cheaper? Let's say a fax machine. Is it worth spending the extra money on the extended warranty? Or is it cheaper just to buy a whole new fax machine if something goes wrong with it? So those are the kind of things that you want to balance out whenever you're thinking about equipment, inventory, purchase orders. You will have a budget. The budget is huge in all settings. You have to maintain that budget, and if you don't, the office is not going to be able to make money, right? We all know that it is a profit, but it's also a way that you, as the employee, is going to get paid. Okay, so take that into consideration. So that is it. You will have up to 25 questions on your exam. There's going to be a combination of multiple choice, maybe a couple of true and false, and some matching. I know that we wish we could have 75 questions. That way the points per question won't be so big. But we will get through this, and y'all have done amazing on your quizzes so far, your exams, everything that I've asked you to do, you have achieved and conquered and overcome. And we only have a few more weeks of this. We're going to get through it. We're going to get through it together. I love you, ladies. Thank you so much for all of your cooperation, your patience, and your understanding. Thank you so much for stepping up to help with our new classmate. And I hope that you are all staying well. If you have any questions, please call me, text me, send me a message. I'm here for you. Love you, ladies. Bye.